guys, before watching this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure you click the bell to stay notified when I will be uploading a video and also live stream so you can be first. Make sure you check the box and press save. And if you have time, make sure to leave a like on this video to show your support. Hey, what's going on guys? My name is Anthony or Big B Stats and welcome back to another Minecraft Story Mode Season 2 video for you guys here today. And today I'm going to be talking to you guys about Fred, the admin. I'll be talking to you about the character, of course, itself, also his way of death, how I think he's gonna make an appearance in episode 5, and much more. Also, if you can, drop the video like and share it. It is much appreciated and shows your support for the channel. So, Fred the admin, a very, very interesting character, and I feel like this is one of the most characters that they focused on a lot. Like, we know so much about, but yet we haven't really met the character, and we won't be able to meet the character unless this theory that I'm going to talk to you guys in a bit comes true, which is going to be slightly different. I don't know if you can guess it now, but it'll be quite interesting once I cover that topic. But let's first talk about Fred. So we learn a bit about Fred, of course, at the end of episode 3, which was Jailhouse Block, one of my favorite episodes. Actually, episode 4 was just, the story, episode 4 was just flawless. I loved it a lot. And again, for the time that the episode was, I feel like they squeezed a lot in, that we actually know a lot in a short period of time. So again, we know so much about Fred, especially through the trivia contest, and I think that was a pretty genius way to kind of learn about Fred in itself, instead of, I couldn't think of another way that they could do it. Of course, we also read his journals and such things like that. But yes, we find out about Fred, how there's 3 admins, of course, Romeo, Zara, and Fred. And we learn more just through the story how close Zara and Fred were. Now, Fred was killed by Romeo. Yes, Zara does confess that, of course, she was there and she saw it. So that definitely kind of confirms that Fred is dead. Now, I don't want to say that, of course. Sometimes I have that theory, of course, that Fred will come back. But I'll tell you in a way that he will come back, but not in the way that you think exactly. So I do believe that Fred is actually dead, and I don't think that Romeo, kind of like didn't kill him. I think the reason, of course, why Romeo killed him is because Romeo was also trying to take over and Fred wasn't. So it's kind of like, well, Fred and Zara was kind of like against him. So the thing with that is that Romeo, of course, is kind of like power hungry. Like Romeo is kind of the one that, although Fred is super, super nice, super kind-hearted, and he understands Romeo, I mean, he even wrote a journal, like, about his death before he died. So Fred definitely knew that something was going downhill as far as with Romeo, and he knew that, and plus the fact that, Fred had the only way to take out Romeo too. So that's probably also why Romeo killed Fred as well, because he knew how to defeat him. I mean, that is also, I mean, Zara and Fred would also know. So he didn't want that at all. So he pretty much just killed Fred, banished Zara into the Sunshine Institute. But overall, Fred was a very, very, very good character, especially explained by, even if you went to, for like at the trivia contest, everyone that knew him, everyone was just super, super positive about him as well. So he was like definitely one of the nice ones. He kind of reminds me of, like, the crazy thing is like the body types. Like I'll always like look at like Romeo as Jesse, then I look at Zara as Petra, and then I look at Fred now as Axel. So let's just hope that nothing happens to Axel because something happened to Fred. But no, I don't think so. So the fact that Fred is dead now, I do think in episode 5 Romeo will probably, because I think in episode 5 we're definitely gonna make it to that terminal. If you don't know what terminal I'm talking about, I'll link a video down below in the description which explains more in detail about the hashtag potato451, which is actually Fred's weapon to defeat Romeo. So yeah, that's in the description. But I think definitely Romeo is going to play some mind games. Now remember that Romeo can kind of spawn in whoever he wants and kind of mess with people that way. Like, think about how he played with everyone when he was, Jack's friend Voss, and he made it so believable. It was just crazy. So I think that in the end, I think we'll definitely see, hopefully, fingers crossed, that we'll see a illusion type of Fred. So a version of Fred that is through the admin, of course. And I know Romeo definitely feels guilty. He has to feel guilty killing one of his best friends, and you can also tell that he still cared. I mean, he had a cabin back there which they all consider home. So yeah, Romeo definitely still, there's a good person deep down inside in Romeo, but I feel like he's done so much bad. I don't know if it's even right to even spare him. I mean, Zara explains that, you know, he killed Fred very slow, which is just kind of crazy. Also, another fun fact, apparently Eric Sturp, who's the lead writer of this too, named Fred because it rhymed with dead as well. So you have Fred, dead, and I think in the trivia contest, his favorite food is bread. So you have Fred, dead, bread. Very good character though. But yeah, I think that there's gonna be a point in episode 5 where Zara is definitely gonna have that one-on-one with Romeo, and Romeo is gonna somehow figure out a way to send Fred after her to kind of like fight her or something like that. But again, it'll just be an illusion of Fred. I really hope they do show the characters. That would be awesome if they did. I mean, this character, I would love it, because again, this is like the character we know so much about, but we don't physically get to see the character. We just see a portrait of them. But I would totally love to see this character kind of in person. It almost makes me feel like, I would almost think that, being that the character is so big as well, I was thinking like, what if it was shorter? But on the portrait, you can tell that, it'd be funny though if they added that, like Fred turned out to be like really, really short, and like shorter than Romeo and Zara. I think that would add a funny aspect to Fred, but I feel like he's just the big guy, tall, kind of like it reminds me of Axel a bit, but with a kind heart. I think he's nicer than Axel. Axel can be quite savage sometimes with what he says as well. But we learned a lot about Fred. Favorite color, lapis blue. Favorite wood is birch. Bread, he loves bread. He had a chicken named Waffles. I mean, this is probably one of the most lovable admins I think we've ever seen before. I mean, he had a whole town just pretty, I mean, you gotta think that admin powers are also crazy too. I just now hate that Romeo is the only one with powers, but do I think in the very end that Jesse will somehow manage to get admin powers? But like the curiosity is just killing me on this, trying to figure out what's through that terminal when we use the hashtag potato451, or exactly how we actually use that, and why does Fred know this weapon on how to take out Romeo? I almost feel like Fred is the reason for it all. I don't know, but the fact that, you know, he kind of kept that, I mean, Fred kind of looks like he could be in like the Prismarine kind of place with just everything he has, which is probably why that terminal is in that sea temple. Maybe it could have been that, I don't know, I guess if Romeo knew it, then he would have probably shut down the terminal, because that's the only way to defeat him. I don't know, we'll have to see, but it's just a place to take away the admin powers. But overall, I do think that Fred will make an appearance in episode 5, just as an illusion. It's just a theory. If this happens, I'm gonna rewind to this video and be like, I knew it, that was just amazing. But I do think he may make an appearance. I think that would be very cool to see. A Fred illusion that goes up against Zara. Zara's panicking, but somehow has to kind of overcome that fear or something like that. But yeah, let me know what you think down below in the comments on this. Do you think Fred will come back as an illusion from the admin, like from Romeo? Or you think we just won't see the character anymore, and this episode was just solely focused on Fred, which was episode 4, and that's pretty much it. We won't hear any more else about it. But I do think there will be a time where Romeo will mention Fred. I know Romeo hasn't mentioned Fred yet because we also haven't talked to him as well. Because I definitely think that the closer we get to defeating him, there's going to be this time where he kind of like vents out and all his sorrows for the most part. But that's pretty much it for today's video. I do hope you all have enjoyed. Remember to leave a like and share, and also feel free to subscribe for more. And let me know down below in the comments. Actually, let me know who is your favorite admin out of Zara, Fred, and Romeo. Yes, I'll even say Romeo. Who is your favorite admin thus far? But thank you all again, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!